change it up and record in the nice and bright sun because, like my new Murs album, I'm gonna have a nice life. Please don't freaking leave me hate comments over that joke. But it's time for me to review the new Murs album, and to be perfectly honest, this is actually the first ever album that I'm hearing from Murs. I never heard of Murs before until he signed with Strange Music, and everything I've heard since he's been signed, I've thoroughly enjoyed, from appearances on Strange Elation to his collab album with Mayday titled Murs Day. Also, apologies if you can hear my roommates in the background. We have the patio door open. But but even with the stuff that I heard from Murs on Strange, I never really had an idea of what the album would sound like, and the pre-order track that came with the album, the can't even pronounce the freaking title, Funeral. I wasn't really feeling that song, so that kind of killed a little hype that I had for the album. And then the legit album singles started dropping, like dang, Okie Dog, No More Control, and I was feeling the beats he rapped on for those singles were the kind of beats that I really enjoy with the music that I tend to listen to more often. But I was still like, there's no way he could be doing like a whole album of these beats. So on first listen to the album, it starts off with the nice piano laden title track with just Murs showing, how he's, I guess, grown and evolved throughout his career, the life lessons he's learned, trying to relay them, to the basically the whole album. And this is what the kind of stuff that I like from hip hop artists and rappers, and why I really get into like Tech Nine albums and stuff, is because he's not just rapping to rap on the album. He's actually, like legit telling stories, like on the song Okie Dog, where he's telling like the story of like this like homeboy that like made up this gang that he claims, that he reps on the daily, and Have a Nice Life, where he's talking about his life lessons, how he's grown. And even though I don't kind of feel it, it's like Mecorazon, where he's talking about the story of this lady that he meets and kind of falls in love with. Please excuse any noise. And and it's the whole album is storytelling. And what I also like is that unlike a lot of hip hop albums, it's not bloated with like 50 features. No disrespect to any albums that have all those features, because generally they do fit the songs they're on, but it's refreshing to have just a hip hop rap album with like maybe like only like 3-4 features. And at that, it's really only kind of like one or two, because half the features aren't actually doing verses on the tracks. They're only just singing choruses, like do Miyagi on Surprises, MNDR, No More Control. Out of the remaining guests, E40 spits one of the best verses I've ever heard from him on the track PTSD, which is a very interesting track in itself because of the electronic beat, and Murs is kind of like fast rapping on the song, which I wasn't expecting at all. And it's not I kind of don't like the double time flow on Murs, but the way he pulled it off on the track, it fit the beat, and it's definitely like a good standout track if you want to hear something different from him. And really, the whole album, from what I've seen from like Murs fans and other review sites, because I do check other reviews and stuff too, is like the whole album in itself is a complete different sound from Murs. And it does make me want to, and like this album, it does make me want to check out his like back stuff and like see like what was this dude like when he came out like midway through his career. Now that he's with Strange, what else are we gonna hear from Murs? But with me, it's very rare that an album is without flaw. And like I said earlier, the song Mecorazon, while I do appreciate the storytelling it's on, the beat and like chorus of it kind of ruins the track for me. And really, Murs is like it's some of Murs' least forgettable, less like more forgettable verses on that song. Please excuse the silence. And honestly, that's kind of the only bum track that I have on the album. And since it's early on in the album, it really doesn't take anything away from it. If it was like later sequenced in it, then it would kind of kill it for me, especially because, you know, I like it to start with fire, maybe take a little dip in the middle, and then end on a strong note. And this album definitely does that, especially with he ends the album on a very personal note with the song "I Miss Mykie," which is about you know some of his friends that have passed away, and it's like it's basically if you're looking for an album that has everything that has a little bit of something for everyone, you know, a party track, some real good storytelling, maybe some like some hard hitting message stuff like No More Control, I Miss Mikey, party track like Skating Through the City, Black Girls Be Like, which is actually one of my surprisingly one of my favorite tracks on the album, and along with Two Step featuring King Fantastic. So that's pretty much all I have. So until the next time.